Hey everyone, bloodmako here, and this is my run of the, well, let's call it Tifa's boss rush. How about it? So, this first boss, he is he's a pain in the sense that he is very tanky. So that is why I also brought such a DPS heavy comp. I brought Tifa with her OD. I brought Garland and Paladin Cecil for his HP damage up, with his in the sense of his LD ability. I think he's the few that actually uses, or rather, it's his overhit buff instead of a debuff on the enemy, which is why I brought him instead of someone like Gabroth or Ignis, because this boss is immune to everything. You cannot put a single debuff on him. That was one of the mistakes I made in my previous run. So this team actually did really well. They managed to go to the second wave and I think did until half, maybe? I can't remember, we'll see anyway. But yeah, one of the mistakes I made was to enchant the whole party with Holy, which is kind of useless because this boss is not weak to Holy, and you cannot apply Holy Imperil on it. So if you are doing the same comp as me, I would suggest you just use one of the abilities. You know, just spam with Paladin Cecil and Garland. These are your, or rather Garland is your main DPS along with Tifa. And Garland is also there to delay the boss so that he doesn't get a turn. Because you don't want him to get a turn also, because he will put up an aura. I think it's a yellow aura. And he will actually get reduced HP damage. So it is kind of like the opposite of what Paladin Cecil is there for. He, instead of creating a HP up, he becomes I think normal. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah. Anyway, at least that was what I faced when I was fighting the lower levels one. Another thing to take note is that if you let him get a turn, right, he also he will put up albeit, you know the symbol for where he cannot be delayed or deleted, right? Yeah, he does that. So basically, you don't want him to take a turn. It'll be a lot easier for you also if he doesn't take a turn. Which is why I brought Garland. Garland will just delay him into oblivion with his burst. And it's also kind of why I decided to opt to burst so early, because while Tifa does delay also, the boss was actually slowly creeping closer and closer to taking his turn. So I decided to, you know, just burst and also get well, Garland's burst is basically a damage burst. I like to call it that. So yeah, I get as much damage in as possible, and with his burst aura and his LD aura active, everybody will be doing a lot of damage. So this team comp actually makes the first wave the easiest, quite ironically, which is also the wave that I struggled the most. I mean, you saw that the Garland's burst did only about 1.2 million, but considering the fact that I tried with Cloud's burst, and that's with all the launchers in the world, I think I launched like 3 times in the burst sequence, but he only did 700,000. Yeah. He didn't have Kais to was it Kais? I think it was Kais. Yeah, he didn't have Kais to give the mid-air battery. But interestingly, I tried it in another team comp, and it didn't do really well too, because first of all, I didn't bring anyone that is synergy, so I didn't get the super synergy boost. But also the amount of brave reduction is insane. So Kais only was giving about a 10k. I think the max I saw was 15 to 20k. As in the brave gain in a mid-air brave battery thing. So yeah, launch comp for this particular wave is quite difficult. Also, another thing that made it difficult was the fact that the boss is immune to everything, so you can't put Kai's LD on him. So you can't even get Brave after you launch him. So this boss is a pain if you're bringing a debuff reliant team. Which is also why I recommend this team. It is really strong. The boss is also he also absorbs lightning. So if you are gonna bring lightning, you might want to enchant her with another element. So the orb is not an issue as long as you hit it with a critical brave, if I'm not wrong. It'll be in the description anyway. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, you hit it with a critical brave and you will increase the orb. So basically, as long as you hit it, it will always go down. Another thing I realized was that I could have been more liberal with Garland's LD. I only realized it towards the end of the fight. I mean, I will totally understand if you want to hold his LD for the last wave. It actually makes more sense too, because his LD is a AoE, and you can actually hit both the bosses, both the split plant boss with his LD. Instead of just wasting one on this boss. Maybe just refresh the cooldown of it. But yeah, I would recommend you to save a few LDs for the plant bosses, and to not use like what I just did, Paladin Cecil's AA. Yeah, anyway, save some of your LDs for the plant bosses. I'll explain when we get there, but this boss is more or less dead already. He's at 15% health. You can't even see his turn. Garland's burst effect is still active. I think I finished this particular boss with one more turn of Garland's burst active. So I managed to stretch it to the point where it hit the effect lasted until the next wave. But yeah, another thing you can do is also to just use Tifa's S skill. With a rework, it becomes I'm not sure about it before the rework, but after rework, it becomes an instant skill, or instantly, she immediately gets a turn again. So yeah, you really want to spam with Tifa. Just use all her skills, preferably her S1, because it's the one that does the most damage after her LD. Her EX is useful with Garland because you can just delay the boss, but in terms of damage, her S1, her first skill, does the most damage. Of course, we're not talking about the LD. The LD is just insane. But yeah, another thing that I find very interesting is that all the bosses, other than the first one if you let him get a turn, all the bosses can be delayed and deleted. That is something pretty interesting to and the plant bosses are not tanky at all. You see them melt from all these like basically me using Garland and Tifa together. They just gets destroyed. But yeah, another thing to be careful with is that you might not want to use as many calls as I did. What I mean is that maybe you want to just apply all those increased brave damage taken and HP damage taken instead of every single call, like Gabrov's S1. Like for example, I didn't use a Terra's call there because I was looking at the turn. I was like, nah, I think I would rather let Tifa get her turn so that she can do as much damage as possible. So yeah, basically you want Garland and Tifa after Garland's burst is over to take as many turns as possible, and Paladin Cecil to just hang back if possible. So you might not want to use his S2, the Holy Flame, because it's a quick turn, so he will jump forward. So yeah, that is another small minor details that might affect how well you do in this particular second wave. Yeah, I brought Alexander because I was thinking, hey, if this team actually gets to the next wave, I can actually put a Holy Imperil on them and then use Alexander. But any summon will do actually. In fact, Odin might. Is it Odin? The guy, the horse. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, I forgot his name. He's Odin, right? I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, he'll be actually really good for this first team because other than Paladin Cecil, they are mainly non-elemental. So it doesn't matter which summon you bring, so I would bring someone that reduces the defense even more, you know, so that I can kill the bosses even faster. I mean, you can see I'm hitting cap right now, but I can't really remember about towards the end of the first boss, you know. Was I hitting cap? I can't remember. I think I was, mainly because of Garland's burst. But if you want to save his burst for this current fight, for this second wave, then it makes sense to bring Odin. I think it's Odin, right? The guy with the horse. Yeah, yeah, I think it's Odin. Yeah, his name is Odin. Okay. Sorry guys, I am actually really tired from work. But and I actually plan to release this Barsha's video tomorrow. But I managed to get it done today, so I was like, okay, never mind, I'll just upload it because I saw it's more than half an hour. Because each fight was I did 3 parties because if you want the full rewards, you need 3 parties, and you do it in 3 parties. So each particular party took about 13 minutes each, give or take. And I was like, whoa, this is gonna be a really long recording. But I mean, it might help some people, you know, whoever happened to watch this instead of, you know, all those popular DCD channels. Then yeah, I hope it helps. But yeah, so this particular boss, you don't really have to worry. They do some HP attacks, but it's not very painful, especially with Paladin Cecil around. He will just heal up the whatever HP damage you take. And with Garland, most of the time you're delaying them, so... Did they take a turn? I can't remember. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, with Garland around and Tifa's EX, they don't really take a turn. But yeah, I would suggest, right, if you really want to maximize your DPS and you don't mind the bosses taking a turn or not delaying them as much, you might just want to spam S1 and S2 skills with Tifa instead of using her EX, other than to you know, refresh her buff. But yeah, because it doesn't do as much as her other skills, you know. So you may want to hold off her EX. The opposite is true for Paladin Cecil, because his EX is the only one that you know does a 2 HP dump. So yeah, right here I brought them to 19 and 17%. So yeah, this is where I bring in my next team. So this particular team of mine, my second party, I really didn't know who to bring. I wanted to bring someone with super synergy, and the only person I had built, or I had to build him, was Palum, and he's not very strong here, but he helps with the stupid trees in the next wave, which is the hard part. Among all the fights, right, the tree for me is the hardest. So I initially brought Kurasame instead of Celeste, and the reason I brought him was because I wanted the HP damage up and brave damage up. I think that he gives a brave damage up. So yeah, I wanted to capitalize on that. But when I reached the trees, I realized that they love to spam HP attacks, and with nobody. Well, instead of Celeste, I brought Kurasame, right? So there's no dedicated healer, and you can, you know, not bring a healer. You just need someone to delay or delete, you know. So which makes it a bit difficult, because I guess I could not bring Kuja. He was kind of useless here. He was hitting like a wet noodle. I really should have brought someone else. But I want to bring someone with burst, and for this wave, you need to hit them with magic. Wait, is it magic? No, I think you just need to hit them with a brave attack. It is the next wave that you need to hit them with a magic brave attack. Yes, which is why I brought Kuja, because I think he's like the few burst people that I have that is using magic, because I don't have what's her name? Ulti. I don't have Ulti's burst. I don't have what's his name? Gobez. Yes, Gobez burst. I guess I could have brought Terra, but Well, you see why I didn't want to bring Terra here. Yeah, but I think that was... I have Shantoto, but let's put it this way, she kind of dropped out long ago. So against these particular bosses, this party is fine. Especially Palum without his LD. I didn't pull for his LD, I'm not interested in his LD at all. I'm interested in his twin sister's LD, you know. That shit's broken. But yeah, these bosses, wow, they are a pain. So when I did this fight, I did not understand the boss's mechanic at all. Okay? I totally forgot everything about these bosses. And you see that I do lots and lots and lots of mistakes here. Like I applied all my core debuff on them, and the minute the core left, they immediately cleanse. And I was like, what have I done? Yeah, and another problem was that Celeste counter, her ice block thingy, it is a debuff from them, and they cleanse themselves. So almost every single time I apply her LD on them, it almost always immediately cleanse. Other than the beginning, the very first core, I believe. I mean the very first LD I applied on them. After that, every time I applied, they cleanse. I apply, they cleanse. I apply, they cleanse. It was so annoying, and which also explains why I was struggling so much with these particular bosses. So these bosses, right, when they catch fire, they will cleanse themselves. When you put out the fire with ice magic damage, I'm not sure if it's magic, but if you cleanse them with ice damage, they also cleanse. And that's not it. When they do their recast ability, the stupid bar thing, they also cleanse. So it is another very painful cleanse team. I'll cleanse enemy. And yeah, right here basically, I applied all the debuff. I applied the Jet Core, I had my Celeste LD active, and then cleanse. And I'm like down there, shit. And then they catch fire. Oh, by the way, guys, if they're on fire and they do their recast ability, it will hurt a lot, guys. So I suggest bring someone that has ice. Snow is using ice. Celeste works as well. Celeste, if you can, you know, time your LD to when they don't cleanse, basically. Who else? Kurasami is good if you are willing to, you know, bring someone that doesn't have a core. But I feel like that if I had brought Kurasami instead of Kuja, he might have worked way better. But Kuja has his burst sequence, which is like the few things that makes him really strong. Or rather, not say really strong, but stronger than people that don't even have their level 80 cap unlock. Is what I mean. So yeah, these bosses cleanse a lot. Does quite a few HP attacks. Bring a healer if you can. If you can spare at least. But yeah, if not, right, I would say bring someone that can delay them. You just need to do a magic ice damage to them. So you can always bring like Cloud as a core, Amy as a core. You know, just delete them. You know, don't let them take a turn. And guys, it is magic damage. Magic brave hits. So you have to bring a magic character. You cannot, you know, bring Yang and just, you know, let him sit back and do all the damage. No. You can bring Terra, I guess, because it is magic brave damage, not magic HP damage. I actually reserved Terra for later. Well, I might as well just say now, since you guys are watching, she is my third party. She is part of my third party. But these bosses, I'm not exactly sure if they will catch on fire if they don't take a turn. You know, you can just delay them, bring Amy. She's magic. You know, just delete their turns constantly. I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure someone will correct me or do their own research if I'm wrong. But yeah, Amy actually will be really good here. You know, just delay them. And I mean, Emmy's debuffs are not exactly spectacular, you know, it's just mainly for the turn cooldown. I mean the turn. I know it reduces their speed, so you go often, more often. And that's the most important one. I know that she does an in brave also, and I can't remember what's the last one, but yeah. So Emmy might be a better choice, you know. And then if you have someone like Gobes, he'll be really good here, especially towards the end where the bosses actually gain a ton of brave. He's basically the same shit again. Gain a ton of brave. You have to break them. You're only doing once. You have to break them, and then you will lose their brave reduction. So yeah, I opted to burst with Kuja here. I was like, I can't stand these stupid bosses anymore. I want to get this section done and over with. So you know, just let's try and rush them as fast as possible. I brought Shiva here, but on hindsight, it wasn't really good. Because yeah, you look at that burst, oh my god, 500k. Tifa does that with her LD. In fact, she does more than that with her LD. But yeah, Shiva's only good to put out the fires. She doesn't actually help out much. Other than that, I mean, you're hitting the elemental weakness for the boss, but yeah, if you can, I'd rather bring someone, maybe a launch comp, if you can manage the op well, you know. But I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. You know. I hate these bosses. These bosses are such a pain. I at this point of the game, I was like, shit, do I need to restart again? Because when I reached here with Kurasami, I was like, no, I have to restart. And I brought, yeah, and this was my second time, so I was like, do I need to restart and, you know, be more strategic with my debuffs? And I saw the turn count, I saw their health, I was like, I think I can 3-party this, you know. I think it's still possible with my, even after doing such a pathetic job with these bosses, and but they didn't really do that badly for the second wave boss, the plants. But they took quite a while to, you know, because they just weren't doing enough damage. But yeah, these bosses were basically made for Halum, but you have to have his LD, I think, because mine was just struggling. So if you have his LD, here will be a really good time to use him. Yeah, so the next boss is actually quite a pushover. They're not very tanky. They have once you apply your wind call or your wind enchant, they are actually quite paper. So you don't have to worry so much about the last wave. It is this wave that is such a pain. Wow. Talking for half an hour, and I only talk for what? 20 plus minutes, and I've actually run out of things to talk about already. This boss wave is quite a pain to do commentary on. Oh, I actually saw a video because I only managed to do this fight after I finished work, so quite a few people had already released a few videos. So I saw one of the channel, I think the guy's name is Theologica. I think I'm butchering the name probably, but yeah, he did it in 2 parties, and he even brought lightning for the first wave. So I was pretty impressed with the way he did it. But I didn't want to follow him, you know. If I were to follow him, then what's the point of making this video, right? I might as well just put the link and then you know, let you guys watch his video. He probably did it better than me anyway. From what I understand, he's a lightning main. But yeah, 2 parties, and his first party actually made it all the way to this particular wave. You know, because this is the wave that his party had issue with. He needed magic damage. And yeah, so right here, I know I have 3 more turns, but they were about to do their recast ability, and I didn't have any more healing. Celeste had no more LD. I think she is only able to heal herself and not much with her S1. Her S1 does heal the party, but not a lot. So I decided to opt to bring my third team in. So my third team is basically Young Terra combo with a guest appearance from Bats. So the plan here was to try and kill these bosses as fast as possible. I realized that Terra would have been better in the previous team comp if I could enchant her with ice, because at this point of the stage, she the orb is not active, so there's no point in bringing a magic damage, or no point in Terra taking too many turns, because the orb is not an issue. It's more of the health now. And I know that the bosses will cleanse themselves and apply that stupid brave reduction effect. I think this was my third try. So my first try, I didn't know when. I just went in and I did everything, and the bosses actually, yeah, they gained that stupid brave reduction when I just spammed with Terra. I just used her LD, so I was trying to spam with Terra. That was an issue. The second one, I made a mistake of putting Emmy's call on Bats, and Bats wasn't taking a turn. And to be honest, if I really needed gravity, I could just use his LD. So that didn't make sense either. See how guys, see how I was tired. It is after work anyway. So this was my third one. I put Emmy on Terra, and yeah, it worked perfectly. Terra LD pushed them into the brave reduction health, basically 29%, and then just delete that more of a brave with Emmy. Which is also why I saw, hey, the turn got deleted too, you know. I was like, that's interesting. But there was no way I could put Emmy's call on Young. First of all, I needed the wind call on him for the next wave. I also it was also because Young wasn't going to take a turn when they hit the 29% threshold. Because if I put it on Young, they will take a turn, and I don't want them to take a turn because I did not bring healing for this. No, I did, but I rather not want to have to use it. So right here, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to burst with Bats. So if you have Fujin's LD, it'll be really good to enchant Young, well, the party in general with Wind first, and then burst with Bats, because Bats does cause the enemy. Basically his LD effect. It gives or applies the wind imperil on them, even though it's not an active debuff. So yeah, I was actually kind of hoping to finish them off in this burst sequence, but I think they live with that little bit of health. These stupid bosses just doesn't lie. But yeah, so if you have Fujin's LD, I didn't pull for her. You can, you might as well just use it now, because Young more or less will be. I think he does take a few more turns in the next fight, but the wind call was always active, so he basically didn't take more than 3 turns after I applied it. So you got plenty of wiggle room. So yeah, here look at that, 3% and 2%. I was like, god damn it, can you just die please? And here was my second mistake, or rather my god knows how many mistakes. I should not have LD with Terra, because in the next wave, the last wave, they are resistant to magic. So before I apply I was hoping Young takes a turn first, but Terra went first. So if Young went first, then there wasn't any issue. But the issue was that yeah, he was just making sure that I was recording. I was like, shit, I don't want to do this all over again, man. That was when I realized, oh no, they have magic imperil, magic resistance. I was like, oh no. But Young is hitting hard, that's the bright side. I was like, okay, never mind. I think I can still do this. I have 35 turns. Terra can just spam with S1, the meltdown, and Young can just do his follow-up damage. So at this point I was like, shit, these bosses are quite tanky too. I mean, I wasn't doing much damage, that was the problem lah, but I was like, oh no, 30 turns. And I'm hitting them not very... I was not hitting them very hard. okay, yeah, let's give it a shot since I'm here already, right? But yeah, so I would suggest you don't LD at the end of the fight, or at the end of the previous fight, and instead just save it for this fight. You know, just spam all your skills on the last remaining boss. But yeah, once you apply this the wind enchant, these people here is another one of my mistakes. I should have just used Baron Cecil's HP damage up call, his LD. Because of that, right, I had to delay a bit towards the end because I wanted the HP damage up. I wanted Terra to be hitting way harder than this. So that was another one of my mistakes. I should just use the call immediately, and I pay for it later. And you see right here, I wanted to spam all my LDs and then go into the summon with the call active, so that I don't have to worry about the call running off. Here it was another one mistake. Yang should have just... Okay, it wasn't so much a mistake because I realized that I wanted Yang to be faster because his LD buff ran off, and I had to apply his EX buff. On hindsight, I didn't really have to apply his EX buff. I could just do his LD. But yeah, I could have just call and then LD, and then Yang would never take a turn again. Call with Butts, and then Terra just hogs the turns. Because I think I had like 2 more LD, so 14 turns. Oh, no, wait, 5 turns, right? So 10 turns in a row. So you see the damage after this. I think with that 10 turns, right, one of the boss would have been dead. I mean, look at the damage. She suddenly from hitting 1000 to hitting cap damage. And yeah, don't worry about this huge brave gain that the bosses get. There is no brave reduction. If you have wind imperil, you will just shred this or Terra will at least shred this brave down. I mean, look at that. With the Young follow up, one skill and they are down to 7,000 each from 70,000. That's pretty ridiculous, but yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, you don't have to worry about this brave gain. You don't need gravity or instant break for this. So anyway, guys, we're reaching the end. 22 turns, and the bosses are suddenly at 50 and 60 health. I was like, huh. Wow, these bosses are pretty paper if you bring a wing call. So yeah, I mean, Burst is still active, which is helping so much. Look at the amount of brave the Terra is getting back. It's ridiculous, man. And look at their turn spacing. Sorry, they basically will almost never take another turn again. And it is so nice to see Yang hitting brave cap damage when they're broken. It is really such a beautiful thing. Because most of the time Yang is just not. Well, now he's not obviously because of the point of fight, the point which we are at in the fight. But yeah, it was beautiful when he was hitting cap damage at the beginning of this fight. It was like, oh. But yeah, look at how late I applied this LD core. I should have done that way earlier, man. And I saw that boss was gonna take another turn, so I didn't use his AA because I have plenty of turns. I have 70 more turns, so I was like, never mind, I'll use it in the next one. Because after these are the last 2 turns that I will want Yang and Butts to take, other than in the summon, because I want Terra to be hogging these turns. And the only reason why they actually took a turn was because I made a mistake of not applying the LD earlier. So I was like, yeah, that was really a mistake. And yeah, you can just spam with you can just spam Butts LD, because Butts won't be taking as many turns as Terra or Yang. Yang actually went more than Butts. But here I was like, look at that, 14 turns, I still have a Chaos Wave, I still have her LD. One of their health is at 25%, one of them is basically single digit at this point of time. Yeah, he is single digit now. I was like, hey, I still have a summon! I didn't realize that until I believe I put one of the boss to, or at least I was trying to reduce the boss health. I was like, okay, just in case I need to summon. 12 turns, you know, 11 and 5. I'll be spamming Meteor a lot to any single target. So just in case I need the summon, I still have it in. So on the high side, I could just summon earlier and, you know, just try and get a lower turn count. But you saw that I was checking, you know, it didn't really matter the number of turns I take, as long as I kill them. And I also didn't know that they were resistant to darkness. A lot of mistakes here, but I still managed to finish this fight with 3 parties, so I still managed to get all the rewards. So, you know, that's pretty nice. Oh, interestingly, these bosses also have rage mechanic. Well, I think they do. They don't really get a turn. I don't really get to see it in action. But yeah, guys. So this was my run. My Tifa had really bad artifacts, but I still managed to be hitting cap damage with her. So I hope you guys managed to clear this as well. And my parties and my artifacts and spheres are at the end of the video. I hope it will help you guys at least. You know, bring a better party 2. That's all I can say. Bring a better party 2. But yeah, guys. All the best for your runs, and I'll see you guys in the next one.